we would like to welcome all of you here today. We are one of the fastest growing financial marketing organization. Our mission is no family left behind, and our vision is to provide the best business opportunity worldwide. Today, I'm excited to introduce to you our two very well qualified speaker. Let's welcome Mr. Daniel Gunadi and Mrs. Emily Lynn. Hey, Daniel comes from an engineering background with over 2 decades of experience, and he is an amazing individual. Not just my great friend and family friend, he brings his wealth of knowledge in his financial domain here to you. He is going to share his experiences, his perspective of how this opportunity can change your life, like it did for me many years ago. I'm very, very fortunate to call him my mentor, and he groomed me personally. He is an amazing individual. I'm so happy to introduce you to Daniel Gunadi. Welcome, Daniel. And Emily. Emily is an amazing person as well. She is like this three Charlie's angel, I always say. She is amazing. She is gutsy. She got the fire in her. She's a great mom, great friend, and a great partner. She brings a wealth of knowledge in the business domain and in the financial domain, again, to you. And she's just not another person like every other financial advisor. She is a very rare cut, very, very amazing person. And she's got that figured out for you. So listen to her very carefully and take good notes. I'm very happy to have you all here. Welcome again, Daniel and Emily. Welcome here.
Thank you. Thank you, Ranjini. Thank you. What a great introduction. Hi, everybody. Hello. Good morning. Feel free to put your inputs in the chat if you don't want to interrupt us. We don't have scheduled Q&A time, but if you have any comments, questions, feel free to interact with us. And today's a little about 1 hour, and with Ranjini, myself, and Daniel, here's what we're going to do. We're going to share with you that you'll be listening and watching a presentation. I will be going to share with you who we are and what we do, what type of services and products we do. Right, that's my part. what type of financial education classes we offer, and then Daniel will be talking about the exciting parts. How do we make money? And how this as a platform that maybe for those of you who are interested and who are ready to explore, this might be a good opportunity for you as well. A little bit about myself. I've been with the company for 11 years. And when I joined, Daniel is already there as a very senior person. We grew up in the same company, and I get to know Ranjini very well, right, back in those days. And I joined the company because I want to learn about financial education, right? Because I came to the United States as a foreign student, didn't know much about what is 401k, how I might get taxes, and what should I do, right? At that time, I just graduated from school, and I started to earn some income and started to want to save, but I didn't have much at that time. So the traditional financial industry, I went to in a bank. They say, well, look at how much balance I have in my bank account. They say, sorry, we cannot advise you, right? We need minimum asset requirement, like $50,000 to be able to, right? So in other words, I was too poor to get serviced by the financial industry. But I was very surprised in here. And not only they gave me all the knowledge, right? All what they teach, like each week and each month, the financial knowledge, and also the senior advisor was willing to sit down with me and my fiance at that time, to now my husband, of course, and we have 2 kids now, to teach us how to manage our own family finances and look at 3, 5, 10 years ahead what we should do, right? So at that time, I was really pleasantly surprised about the services. So I became a client for now 11 years now. Right. And several years later, I came back wanting to do the business. Right. So I actually didn't do the business from the beginning. I do the business after we have 2 kids, and I was still working pretty well income, getting pretty good income in the tech industry. But personal life was a lot of stress. Right. Trying to balance a very demanding job as well as a very demanding growing a young family. So at that time, I decided to take a look, and on the business side, that's where the Daniel will be talking to you. All right. So with that, let me share my slides. Can you give me a thumbs up if you see your slides? Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So the company is called World Financial Group, Transamerica Financial Advisors, right? Our parent company is called Aegon in the bigger bubble in the middle, right? Aegon is a huge conglomerate, huge financial institution based in the Netherlands. And they acquired two companies. One is called World Financial Group, the other one called Transamerica. You might recognize this building in San Francisco. Right? This building is a very iconic building in the West Coast. Right? For a long time, it was the highest building in San Francisco in the West Coast. And this is a Transamerica building. And they acquired, Aegon acquired Transamerica as well. So, and Transamerica has a very well-known brand and very reputable company in the United States. So they kept the U.S. North American operations under the Transamerica brand name, right? But we don't just sell Transamerica. Transamerica in itself is one of the biggest and most reputable company in life insurance industry, in retirement, in mutual fund industries. But we don't just sell them. We don't just represent them. We represent a variety of companies. That's our platform. So you might recognize some of these companies. These are just in the life insurance arena. We are think of us like we call a broker dealer. That's a terminology representing distribution. So think of us like a financial Costco or a financial Amazon, right? We are the distribution. So on our shelf, sort of saying, on our shelf, we have over 300 different providers, right? Each provider is a huge company, right? We only work with the best and the biggest companies in US, Canada. For some of you, you're familiar with a third party. If you heard of like Standard & Poor's, Moody's, they are the third party companies. They go in each company and rate their financial strength each year, right? Give them ratings, A, B, C, D, A++, A-, right? We only work with those have A and above, right? In other words, they have to be very good to be on our shelf, right? So we work with some of the best companies, and each of the companies have their best product, and it could change. Right? So being a distribution, it's good to have the wealth of selections. So we are not bound to a single product or a single company, but instead we can represent the client and help them to find a solution that's most suitable and most updated for them. And because for us, the compensation-wise, quite similar. So think of us like a distribution, and our individually, we're like a financial doctor. We help the client coming in, help them to analyze situation and source through the products and the solutions we have, and help them to bundle a good solution for them. It's a one-stop shop. So that's essentially what we do. And today, if I may, I ask you to have these three questions in mind as we go along with the presentation. Number one, do you know someone who could benefit from this message, right? Maybe this is you, maybe this is somebody else you know. Let them know, right? Let them refer to us, because we don't do any advertisement. We don't spend money on any advertisement. All our expansion and all of our clients coming from referrals. So we do appreciate that trust-based referral relationship, and that's how our business are so solid, because of the trust and because of the referrals. I appreciate that. And number two, can this information help you, your family, and your friends financially? Right? And that was me, right? That was me. I listened to the presentation 11 years ago, and I thought, this is what I need, right? I wanted to know. I still was a little skeptical, right? I didn't know if they really do what they say. But I was willing to explore. I'm willing to listen a little bit more, right? If you are one of them, you are in the right place, okay? And the three, are you intrigued by this business, right? I'm sure all of you will get intrigued after Daniel talked to you. So bear that question in mind. All right, so for my part, I'll be going very fast. I'll be talking about the cornerstone, some of the financial knowledge, and that I believe everybody should know. Right. A little background for me. I came to US pursuing a business degree, and finance is one of the subjects I learned multiple times. So before coming to the business, I actually thought I knew everything. So a little arrogant, a little didn't want to know. But I do know that for my personal finances, I still need some guidance because what the school teaches is the corporate finance, right? And the economy, the big things. But what should I do individually in every day? I actually had no clue, right? So all those knowledge I get to know by now because of this company. So I'm very big on the financial education. And I also believe that this is something we can, all of us can benefit from. All right. So I'll be talking about the fundamentals, the cornerstones. There are 4 concepts I'll be going over with you. Number 1, protection, right? So the financial foundation is what is the biggest risk, right? If something happened, then the entire plan would be throwing off, right? So think about if you have a car, do you have car insurance, right? Why do you have car insurance? Because the state mandate. And 2, if something happened, right, to your car, the likelihood is very, very little. But if something happened, the damage will be very big, right? So in terms of financially. So that's the same thing with every family in terms of their financial life. So we're talking about all the insurances, right? Disability, long-term care, even you insure your retirement, right? Think about that, right? So life insurance is actually a very, very huge industry in its own, right? Especially in the United States. We have the most state-of-the-art products. We have the most established industry, life insurance industry. And in fact, a lot of the foreigners came to the United States just to buy this product, right? Think about how big and how attractive this product is. And we didn't even know. A lot of us didn't even know, right? Life insurance in one word, in 2 words, is term or permanent, right? So a lot of us still in the concept of term concept, meaning it's just for the death benefit, protecting the family, which is still very important. But when I get into the company, I get to know the concept of a permanent life insurance is a life insurance plus a savings tool, sort of saying, right? And most important in the savings, it can protect the downside in terms of market risk. It can have the upside if market all goes up, right? And most importantly, the upside is all tax-free, right? So I just did a couple seminars about the new administration's tax proposal, and Daniel did a very wonderful presentation last time as well. Tax is going up, guys. Tax is going up. So everything that has a tax incentive was good, and now it's even more attractive, right? So this is some knowledge you get to know for how we can use different financial vehicles to protect your overall family's financial proposition. All right. So today I'm not going to details into each of that. We have a class. We have a 1-hour introductory class, and following up, we have a lot of advanced classes if you decide to come in to learn by yourself. Okay. So that's number 1, protection. Number 2, growth, right? How many of you heard of the concept of Rule 72? It's a concept from, guess who? It's Albert Einstein. It says it's the wonders of the world, right? Because the power of compound interest will have a significant effect on the longer term. For example, how we apply this rule, right? 72 divided by the interest rate, right? For example, if we will go put the money into the bank, right? Does the bank give you 1% interest rate nowadays? Probably even not, right? But let's say if we put into some places that give 1%, okay? And the 1% interest rate, 72 divided by 1 becomes 72, right? So every 72 years, your money would double, right? So for example, when you are 29 years old, you put 10,000 in there, and after 72 years, when you become 101 years old, then your money doubles, become 20,000, right? So that's the concept. Obviously, we want it to be faster, right? So on the other side of the spectrum, what if we can put into something that gives you 10%, right? 72 divided by 10 is 7.2 years. So every 7.2 years, your money double, right? From 10,000 to 20,000 in just 7.2 years, right? And another double becomes 40,000, and another double becomes 80,000, right? So when you expect to reach 72, your 10,000 becomes 640,000. Would you like 640,000 more, or would you like 20,000 more? Right? So next question would be, okay, so where do I find the 10% place to go to, right? And number two, how about the risk? Now, how about the risk associated with that, right? Because the conventional concept is that the higher the rate of return, the more the risk will be, right? So the next one is what we teach people is how we can protect the risk, right? How we can manage the safety, right? So why is this important, right? So if the market risk, the impact is actually higher than most people think, right? So we just went over 2020, right? 2020. Last year was a very crazy year, right? For some of you, I know some of my clients, they got very scared. They got very hurt in last March, right? When the market tanked and they got very scared. So they, some of them liquidate a lot of stocks or a lot of the 401k into cash or money market account and didn't want to go back, or didn't want to go back. And then they missed the rebound, right? So if you are one of those unfortunate people, right? Number one, it's very hard to time the market. And number two, if you got hurt, and it's very hard to come back, because let's say very close, like last March, we didn't have 50% down, but very close to that, right? So if your $100 down 50%, drop 50%, become $50. If the market go back to 50%, does your money go back to where you were? No, your 50 times 1.5 is $75, right? You actually need to go 100% up. You'll be able to go back to your $100 where you were, right? Is it easier to go down 50%, or is it easier to go up 100%? It's easier to go down, right? So that's why to protect the downside is very important, right? If we can avoid going down, right, then going back up is so much easier, right? So on one hand, we want to talk about the return. We want to have a good return, rule of 72, right? We want to have good return, especially now inflation is going up, right? Especially inflation is very, very real now, right? So money shouldn't just every money go into the bank. We should let the money work for you. But on the other hand, on the other spectrum, we also want to manage the risk, right? So the market doesn't, if the market has tank again, right, your money are protected here. That's what you're going to learn. And then we have lots of financial vehicles and help you to achieve that, right? Okay. So the last concept I'm going to introduce you is about the taxes, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you get to keep, right? It's not about just the return. It's the return after tax. Okay. So it's how we get taxed, right? How we get taxed. The US only have 3 categories in terms of the taxation, right? Number one, sorry, I'll get back to this, right? Number one is tax now. Tax now meaning your money going in is already after tax money. And whenever the money grows, right? If you have capital gain, then the capital gain will be taxed on the annual basis. So think about if you put your money in the savings account or you put it into the CD, right? Savings account, for example, let's say you get $20 interest. Right, nowadays they don't give you too much interest, right? But let's say you have $20 interest. Now we're about to get, it's a tax season now, right? Do you get a 1099, right? The tax form from the bank say, hey, you need to pay tax on the $20. Yeah, right? So that's what we call tax now, right? Whenever there's a gain, then you need to get tax on an annual basis. Every year you get tax, right? That's tax now. Tax later in the middle category is your retirement account, right? Most of you are familiar with 401k or IRA. These are the category where the money will not get taxed yet, but you will get taxed later when you distribute, when you take the money out, right? So money doesn't get taxed immediately, so you do have a bigger chunk to grow, right, over time. You don't get a shrink each year. You can, it's like a snowball. You can grow it faster, which is great, right? But don't forget, you'll get taxed later on, right? And people say, well, when I retired, my tax rate will be so much lower. Uh, think twice about that. It's actually depends, right? It actually depends. Number one, it depends on how much you're getting out from the 401k, right? Because all of those money will need to get taxed. So if you have a very high life expense, right? Family expenses, all the expenses will be required for you to take the money out from your 401k to pay for those, right? So you will have some income. You will have some income. And number two, again, tax rates going up. So who knows by the time we retire what the tax environment overall will become, right? And what we do know is U.S. is heavily in debt, right? U.S. as a government, as a country is heavily in debt. So somebody needs to pay the price, right? Somebody needs to pay the price, and it might be during our retirement. We don't know, right? But tax later in this middle category has some advantages, right? If your current tax bill is very high, then it makes a lot of sense to at least shrink your current tax bill by utilizing tax later vehicle. And by the way, it's not only 401k. It has a lot of financial vehicles in this category we can help you with. All right. And the last one is most advantage one. All right. It's called tax advantage, meaning it's after tax money going in and all the capital gain is tax free. Right? A lot of people know Roth IRA, and they love the idea of don't have to pay capital gain tax, right, during retirement, right? So Roth IRA is very popular, except that it has a lot of restrictions on the income and as well as the age requirement, right? And so it's a good tool, but it's not suitable for everybody, and it's not available for everybody, right? But if you're suitable, available, you should go for that, right? And we also help clients to do that. And another vehicle big is the cash accumulation in the insurance policy. So remember on the first slide, I talked about there are some sort of cash value life, permanent life insurance that allow people to save, right? So this is in that category. When the money is saved in the cash value life insurance, the money is tax free, right? So this is a very, very big tax advantage vehicle that we can utilize. Okay, so what we help family is we are like a financial doctor, right? We help the family to go through the basic fundamental diagnosis, sort of saying, right? So we help them to go through analyzing their cash flow, looking at income minus expenses, and looking at how healthy they are. And two is looking at if they have emergency fund available, right? Educating them to have 3 to 6 months of income, right, into somewhere safe, somewhere liquid where they can access anytime, right? And also help them to consolidate that debt and educate them on how to do it, right? So if they pass through these, then we can go to the financial vehicles on the right-hand side. Number one, again, most importantly, proper protection. Because this is relatively cheaper, right? This is very short investment, but if something happened, this would save the entire family's trajectory, multiple generations, right? So proper protection. And two, the number 5 is building wealth, right? We're talking building for kids' education, building for your down payment for the home, probably building for your retirement, or building for any significant financial projects that you have in your life, right? And then preserving wealth, right? Reducing taxation, build a family legacy. So depending on where the family or the client's coming from, depending on the situation, focus will be a little bit different, but this is the framework we strive to help each family and each individual to go through. This is what I did 11 years ago, and today I still appreciate that conversation, and still now I'm helping a lot of families doing this, right? And my clients appreciate me, and they will appreciate me more as time come along. I know that for sure. So with that, this is where my part. Coming up next is Mr. Daniel Gunadi. He comes from an engineering background. He works in the top Fortune 100 company for many years while doing the business part-time. And I really admire him because he's one of the most knowledgeable, most soft-spoken, but it's all hard stuff, right? It's all hard stuff, hard knowledge inside. And he was one of the best, one of the most humble and team player, and people just love him. So today you are in a very special treat. Here directly from Daniel Gunadi, he will be talking about, he'll going through his journey, share a little bit of stories, but more importantly, share with how the company, the platform can help you or your communities to get income, right? To get extra income. For those who are in the right moment, right in the life stage, this could be a life-changing presentation. So I ask you for attention to listen to Daniel. All right. So Daniel, back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Emily. Everybody can hear me okay? If you can show some emojis in our reaction, right? The wonderful presentation that Emily gave us. So hope you learn a lot of good things that you didn't know before you come here today, right? So again, my name is Daniel Gunadi. I came from an engineering background. I used to work for two great companies, Intel and Cisco in the Bay Area for close to 23 years. So, but just like Emily, I also come in, just want to learn financial knowledge for our family, to do financial planning for our family. And then I was very fortunate to really come across a very nice gentleman who became my very good friend and my dear friend, who's also my mentor. His name is Frank. He used to be an engineer background. He did a wonderful job planning for our families. But then at the same time, he doesn't stop there. He also encouraged me to come and learn, take financial classes to better understand about financial things and plan better for our family future. But then the more I learn, the more I realize a lot of people don't have the same knowledge that we do, that I can share the great knowledge that I've learned here and some of my experience, and then I can build it into a great business. So that's what I'm going to share with you today, is about the business side of things. So let me start my presentation. First is, if you can see, okay, you can see the presentation, right? So this is a quick picture of my family. We only have one daughter. Her name is Chloe, and that's my wife, Karen. We love to bike during the SIP. And I come to know this company when my daughter, before we even had my daughter. So she's 13 years old now. So I really appreciate what I learned, that I can learn to save for her college even before she was born, right? So, but then I also, after taking financial knowledge, financial classes, I realized, wow, in this company, I can also learn about financial business or financial industry. Then I realized, why not? Why not I learn about the business side of things? It's like buy one, get one free, right? I already signed up for the financial classes, pay $100 lifetime membership, but at the same time, I can learn about building a business and building a business in the financial industry. Well, I'm so glad that I kept an open mind when I first come to this company, not just learning about the financial classes, but also the business classes. Because now, guess what? I would never imagine. I come from an engineering background. Now I can have a business. I can be a financial, I can own a brokerage in a financial industry and have all the time and all the control for my future, right? And why and then actually I was doing the business part-time, but in 2019, actually I decided to go full-time in this business. Because why? Because I see that in the next 3 to 5 years, even 3 to 5, 7 years is going to be the boom time of the financial industry, right? And why is that? Because let's talk about the timing, right? Right now, just like for any great business, then the timing is one of the most important thing, right? And what kind of timing we're talking about? I don't know if you heard about something called baby boomer generation. Baby boomer generation is there's 78 million people. They were born during right after the World War II, right? Guess what happened? After World War II, then all the soldiers come home to the United States and they meet a beautiful wife, and then they haven't seen for many years, and then they have kids, right? So during those years, there's a statistics for every single woman that can bear children, they have on average between 3 to 4 kids. So that means it results in what? 78 million people born within only 18 years of each other, right? Because of that, then this drives industries in the United States. First of all, what industry actually boomed? Baby food, right? Do you know a company named Gerber? I still remember. My daughter is 13 years old. I still remember to this day. She used to eat from those baby food in the jars. right? And her favorite was like sweet potatoes. And then there's another one called like a lamb. I remember when I smell it, it's like, man, I don't know how, good thing they're babies. They don't know what they eat, right? So they still eat those. But anyways, the Gerber food, before the baby boomers, guess what? They were selling 50,000 jars, okay? 50,000 jars per month, all right? But after baby boomer generation was born, guess what? They were selling millions of jars per month. If I was at that time looking to do a business, wouldn't you want to be in a baby food business? I would definitely want to be in baby food business. After that, baby boomer starts becoming toddlers. They love to play toys. This is where the big business like Mattel, like Barbie, Hot Wheels, they all become very, very big. After that, guess what? Fast food. They want to get their food fast when they're like kids, right? McDonald's, all the big franchises actually become very big at that time. And right after that, cars. When the baby boomers become teenagers, guess what they want to do? They want to drive muscle cars, right? Like Ford Mustangs. If you trace it back, this is when baby boomers were teenagers. But then soon after that, guess what? Then once they have the 3 to 4 kids by themselves, right? Then they're running around in their sedan, right? In the car, right? Guess what? Then at that time, there's a company named Chrysler. I don't know if you're familiar with Chrysler. Chrysler almost went bankrupt. But then the CEO at that time, Lee Iacocca, he saw that the baby boomer, they're all running around with 3 to 4 kids, trying to fit them in a small Toyota or a sedan, right? Then he thought about something. Oh, they need a bigger car. Minivan was invented. Just by that one invention, they survived, and now you can still see Chrysler all over the place, right? How about real estate? When they started buying their real estate, they're trying to buy the first homes. Real estate booms, but guess where they are right now? All the baby boomers are in retirement, and if you look at it, 1946, the oldest baby boomer right now is what? It's like 70. It's 60. No, the oldest baby boomer will be 2012 minus 1946. My math is a bit slow, but it's about like 75, right? No, 74, 75, right? So, but that's the oldest baby boomer. Guess what? There's still a lot more baby boomers that's gonna retire, right? So every 8 seconds, one baby boomer will turn 65, right? And the earliest baby boomer, they were retiring at 2011, right? 65, right? That's right after the 2008 crash. Guess what? People are worried about their retirement. And not only that, the baby boomer generations, they have kids, right? The kids are Generation X and even millennials. Then those people, like the 112 million of them, they're born between 1965 and 1994. They're starting to get into the workplace. Maybe some of them already in the peak earning years. They see the struggle that the baby boomer have during retirement. They're starting to get worried about their own retirement. So as you see here, there's so much need for financial planning. There's so much uncertainty about the financial, about their financial future. But that's talking about the supply, right? I was an engineer. I never took like any a non-engineering class, but I do remember when I was in undergrad, I had to take some economic class. The only thing I remember about economy class is what? Supply and demand, right? Basic economy, supply and demand. When there's a supply, there's got to be, when there's a demand, there's got to be a supply, right? So guess what? You agree there's so much demand right now for the financial planning, financial knowledge. How about the demand side? The demand side, let's see what happened. Right, the demand side is, if we look at it, nearly half of all existing financial advisors, they're over the age of 55, right? So guess what? All those baby boomers that are retiring, a lot of them are also advisors. That means nearly 1/3 of all the financial advisors out there, they're gonna retire along with the baby boomers in the next decade. And this will result in a shortfall of 200,000 advisors by the year 2022, right? Again, coming back to my question earlier, right? If we have a chance, if we want to be in the right timing, if you have a chance to be wealthy in our lifetime, right? What does it make sense to be at the right place at the right time, right? And of course, with that, there's got to be some luck involved, right? And you should consider yourself lucky today that one of your good friends actually invited you to come to this presentation. I consider myself very lucky because I got introduced to a very nice gentleman who introduced me to this platform that I would never know if he didn't introduce me to this platform. The same thing with you. You should thank yourself. You should consider yourself very lucky and thank the person who invited you that you get to know this platform or this opportunity. And then the luck part also doesn't just stop there. You're lucky because you have an open enough mind enough to come and join our Zoom to check out this opportunity. Now, what you do from here on out is your call, is your decision, right? But then, one thing I love about this business is because after I learned about the business classes, I realized this is such a unique business platform. Because why? No financial services experience necessary. Emily come from a program manager background, right? Ranjini come from a HR background. And then myself, I come from an engineering background. How can I survive in a financial industry? No financial background, no sales or marketing background, no business background, none whatsoever. And because we have a unique platform, it doesn't require people to have financial services experience needed. The company is willing to train us from scratch, and we have a great system to learn about this, right? Second one I really love is this, test drive the opportunity. When I first started, I started part-time. And I love that because why? Because I don't have to sacrifice my family's income stability. I can continue with my full-time job, but I can test drive this opportunity. I can try it out, see how I like it, right? The business part. And then no time clock. Basically, I can do the business whenever I can do the business, right? So if I'm busy with my full-time job, I don't do as much business. But when the times are kind of slow, instead of watching TV, doing unuseful, non-productive work, I can do the business and earn extra income, right? Unlimited earning potential. I'll share with you later. And then leadership development. We have mentors. We have people who've done this from a business and become successful from all walks of life. I don't know any of your backgrounds, but I can assure you, regardless of your backgrounds, you can find a success example in our company. And once you find that, then you can learn from them. Then it will save us a lot of time bumping our head, building our business, right? Strength on our side and power of choice. Like Emily shared earlier, even though we're Transamerica, World Financial Group, we are not just restricted to presenting solutions from Transamerica. We have options. We have close to 200 different companies with over 1,000 different kind of programs that we can help our clients with, right? Business expansions, there's no limit on how fast or how far we go to expand our business. And we have a proven business system that can help, again, people without any financial financial background, without any business background to succeed here, to create a great business. Equal opportunity, we don't differentiate. Again, whatever your background is, as long as you're willing to learn, we welcome you. Diverse field force. And this is another thing. Emily shared that when she first started, one of the reasons she really liked our company is because outside, there's nobody that's willing to help her. Same with me. When I was starting out as an engineer, nobody gave me a call saying, hey, Daniel, can I help you to do financial planning for your family? Because they think I make too little for them to spend the time. But for us, we don't. We have somebody who has like 40,000 debts, like starting to just pay off their debt, all the way to people who have a lot of money to invest. We don't discriminate people that we help. We offer complimentary financial needs analysis, like just like a regular health checkup. We also want to do financial checkup, right? And then we have, again, affiliated companies. We represent a lot of different companies, and we also have world-class recognition and events, and also technology and business tools. You learn a lot more how much support that we can have from our company. The need has never been greater, and because of that, people need WFG, right? So I hope at this point, I already show you the great need for financial planning or financial knowledge, and the need for people with the knowledge that can help fulfill that need, right? So, and now you probably ask me, right? So Daniel, okay, but the bottom line of business is what? It's making money, right? Earning extra. So do you like to earn? Do you like to learn how you can earn, what kind of income that potential that you can have in our business, right? So let's talk about compensation. So this, let me show you how the compensation works, right? So if you're interested about generating extra income, who doesn't, right? If we live in the Bay Area, it's not cheap place. I think anywhere in the United States, it's not cheap, right? Especially in California, right? So if you're interested about generating extra income, I highly encourage you to sit down with the person who invited you here today and maybe their senior partner to find out a little bit more. But just to give you an idea, right, about the earning potential here. Like the first one, you can earn a personal income. What does that mean? That means when we actively help families. So what we do is like maybe after we learn, this is what I did. After I learned the financial knowledge, all the concepts Emily showed, including some of the programs, then I can share that with other people, help teach another family or another person how to take advantage of that program, right? For example, one of the programs that Emily mentioned earlier is like the permanent insurance program. There has a savings component, there has huge tax advantage, and also downside protection. Now, if we can help to teach a family to understand the need for that, their different financial needs, and present them with a solution, and they agree with some of the solutions that we presented, and we can help them to save $200 a month, right? $200 a month, how much is it per day? It's a little over $6 a day, right? Now, do you think, is it easy or is it hard to save $6 a day? It shouldn't be that hard, I think, right? $6 a day, what can you do? Stop going to Starbucks, right? I don't even know the term of the Starbucks, like venti, midi, or I don't know, right? So but I know it's like they cost like about $5-6, right? So instead of spending your money in Starbucks, why don't you save it, and then why don't you save the $6 per day and then $200 a month, put it in a financial investment that can grow for you. If we can do that, help one family, right, to save about $200 per month, then on average we can make about $1,000. So if we can help one family per week, that's how many families per month? Only 4 families per month, right? On a very part-time basis, help 4 families per month, we can generate on average $4,000 a month, right? And if we can consistently do that over a year's time, it's what? $50,000, right? Now, if I ask you, right, so is this $50,000 good enough full-time? If this is your full-time income, maybe, maybe not. In California, it's certainly not enough. But let me ask you a different way. What if you can make this $4,000 per month or $50,000 per year on top of whatever you're already making, on top of your full-time income? Then how would that make a difference in your family? To me, it would, and it did. Because when I was working as an engineer, yes, I made pretty good income, but then between the mortgage and all our expenses, I don't have too much to save. But the extra income that I can make, the $4,000 per month, guess what? I can save extra for my kids, for my daughter's college fund, maybe save a little bit extra for their retirement. And, you know, we just passed the pandemic, right? Unfortunately, a lot of people, they end up losing their job, they get laid off. What if you have an extra $4,000 per month coming in from a very part-time business and suddenly we get laid off? Do you think we would be really stressed, or we would have a little bit of peace of mind because at least maybe we can have our mortgage covered, right? So $4,000 a month, we can easily cover a lot of the mortgage payment that we have, right? So personal income, this is just like when you, a real estate agent, you help family buy and sell a home. But just like a real estate agent, once you become a good agent, guess what? Then maybe you want to become a broker, right? So here, same thing. Once we become a good agent and we have some experience, we can become a broker, we can help family with more services, then maybe we can make a little bit more, right? So now the income for a broker on average is maybe about $7,600. So about a year, in annually, that's about $92,000, close to $100,000. Actually, as a matter of fact, a lot of people here, people can make $100,000 extra just doing it part-time, right? So that's amazing. What kind of other business you can do part-time and you can bring in extra $100,000 with very minimal or even very, very minimal investment, right? And once you become good, once we become a broker, guess what? If we are willing to spend some of our time to teach some other people to do what we do. So just like in real estate, again, I like to pick real estate because it's very similar to our business. Once people become a very good real estate agent, guess what? They want to become a real estate broker. When they become a real estate broker, they open their own real estate broker office. They have to assume a lot of liability, but then they can also have the privilege to teach or to train some agents, right? Real estate agents. And they build their own small real estate agency. Similarly here, if you are willing to spend a little bit of your time to train some new people to become good agents so that they can also help share with other families, then you can earn agency income. Just like a real estate, if I'm a real estate broker, I train some real estate agent. In the future, they become good agents, and then they can help family buy and sell a home. Even the broker not there, the broker can make a small broker cut, right? Here, we can also make a broker cut in the financial business, right? For what? For the effort that I put in at the beginning to teach some of these agents. Let's say if I'm just over like my career, like 3 to 4 or 5 years, I can just train and manage only 5 agents. 5 agents in my small financial agency, right? 5 agents, and every one of them, they help 4 families per week, just like what I did. I'm just sharing with them. I'm just teaching them what I did before. Guess what? Now, everybody wins in this scenario. Guess what? Because in my small agency, before I can only help 4 families myself, but if I have a team of 5 people, each of them helping 4 families, then between myself and my team, we can help a total of 24 families. That means more families getting help. Don't you agree? That's good for the marketplace out there. We can help a lot more families. How about for the agents that I train? They come from all different kind of backgrounds. Now they know how to do the business. Now they can also, a lot of them, maybe just part-time, they can now bring in extra $4,000 per month for their family. Do you think that would be a good thing for them too? Definitely, right? And how about for myself? I'm the broker who spent a lot of time at the beginning to teach them and train them without any compensation. But then once they know what they do, then I can make a small broker cut. So that's the compensation that I get for my time investment that I put in at the beginning. And the broker cut is actually not bad. Like on average, for each of the agent that I can train, and then they can go out and help about 4 families per month. On average, I can make close to or a little over $3,000. If I have 5 agents, then that's about like $16,000 per month, and per year that's $200,000. And $200,000 is just the broker cut. That means you can consider that's passive income, right? So that's the potential of the business, but we don't stop there. We have a lot more different compensation, expansion income. We can also once we know how to run our own agencies, we can also help train other brokers. That means they can also open their own agencies, and we can earn expansion income. And we also have bonus income. That means if we do well in the company, that we have bonus plus recurring income. That means if we set up some programs, financial programs, because some of the programs that I help the family with, I can still get paid even up to 10 years. Let's say I help family up to 10 years ago, I can still get paid even until now. And then some of the investment programs, I can actually get paid for as long as the investment stays with me. With all this income combined, then it's not surprising that you can see the range of income here. Basically, don't worry about the terms. If you'd like to find out more how you can earn this type of income, feel free to definitely sit down with the person who invited you, just to give you the possibility. I used to come from an engineering background. Again, in Intel and Cisco, guess what? There's always a glass ceiling, right? It doesn't matter how good I am, right? Sometimes it's just through politics and things like that. People decide how much I make based on my title, not based on what I'm capable of. This is one thing I really like about the business, about the company, because the sky's the limit. Some of the income here, this is not updated. These numbers are actually based on numbers in 2015, right? But it's staggering. I never think that people can make this much income unless they're founders of startup companies. But here we can create our own business just like we even create our own startup, right? And so this is just the income potential, right? So that you can see, right? And then, but not only that, a lot of things that I really appreciate in our company, we also have world-class recognition and also mentors, right? So just some people here in the picture here that you can see, they have like, people from different background, like the Jackie Tam on people on the top left, his background was a CPA. The one in the middle, his background, her background is Penny Oy and Ben Eo. Their background, her background was a loan officer. And then there's a lady who used to be a scientist, a PhD. And then the gentleman on the bottom right, he used to be a wireless engineer, right? And then the one on the bottom left, she used to be a pharmacy manager. All these people that are showing in this picture, and this is just a very small example of the people that are here from different background, and they built a great business here, right? So, and then for now, we've gone through a lot today, right? So the next steps is actually not about the financial knowledge that you learn, about the great company, about the great business opportunity, about even the world-class recognition and mentorship that we can have. This actually comes down to about you. What do you want in your life? What do you want for your family, right? With that in mind, let me ask you these 3 questions again that Emily asked at the beginning, right? Who do you know you can benefit from our message? Because if you feel like you learned something, then you may want to share it with the people that you love, the people you care about. Not only that, could this information help you or your family financially, right? So then there are 2 things that you can do in our company. The first one is learning about financial knowledge, which I believe is a survival skill that everybody, and I mean everybody, regardless whether you want to do the business or not, you should at least come in and learn with us. Take the financial classes and pay the $100 lifetime membership, right? And then the second part, but then are you also intrigued by this business, right? So this is the second thing that you can do with our company is you can earn some extra income from the financial business, right? So don't discount yourself too fast, right? So maybe just spend the time to take a look at the business side of things also. And how can you benefit? The first one is because we want to appreciate you because you have an open mind to attend our Zoom. We offer also a complimentary financial needs analysis, right? So this is part of your learning. You can learn from taking the classes, and also you can also sit down with one of the senior advisors that definitely can, the person who invite you can connect you with, and get a complimentary financial needs analysis. Basically, get a second opinion. If you already have a financial plan, that's great. Get a second opinion. See if there's any areas you can improve, or if you're completely set, at least you know where the second opinion. Just like, or if you haven't done a planning at all, or you haven't looked at your plan for a long time, this is the time maybe to get a good financial checkup for your family's benefit and family's future. But at the same time, also explore the business part, right? So maybe you can consider doing the business part-time if you still love your job, but you want to earn extra income. Hey, who knows, right? Maybe this can be a full-time career, or maybe for some of us, it could be like a second half of your life career that can maybe give us a more fulfilling and longer lasting career that we can have, right? So, but some of you may be thinking, oh, this business is not for you yet. So don't discount yourself too early. Just like me, when I first came, I never thought I'm going to do financial business, but I still kept an open mind. And I started learning about the financial, the business side classes and the business side of things. Hey, guess what? You never know where the road will lead you, right? And lastly, basically, this is why we all do this, is because we are on a mission, and our mission to help families rise, right? I've already taken the steps. A lot of us in this company already taken the steps to plan for our family, to secure our family's future. How about you, right? Why don't you start taking the same steps to secure your family's future? And together, maybe we can help in the future. We can help many more families to have better life for our future generations, right? And for some of you, maybe you will be the one that changes your whole family tree, right? So with that, I appreciate your time with us this morning. And if you don't mind taking like a minute, take maybe a QR code from your phone, and then submit some of your feedback. We love your feedback about the presentation. If you learn anything that you like, then please provide us with some good feedback, right? So, and with that, I'll hand it over back to Ranjini.
Thank you, Daniel. I was just having it all ready to share, and thank you so much for sharing it for me, the survey link. What an amazing session. I really enjoyed. Every time I listen, I know there is great information. There is more soul to the information than it is on the paper, right? It is from your own life experience. I loved it, Daniel. I loved it, Emily. Emily was, I think she joined us back in. Yes, she's in. Any questions you guys have, please feel free to drop into the chat. Maybe a minute or so while you take the survey link. Are you able to go to the link? Go ahead and give your feedback. That will be greatly helpful for all of us. Thank you. And Daniel, do you want me to share the financial classes? I have it with me.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I am not sure if I could share. Let me try. Yes, I can share. Okay. So, here are the list of financial classes, like Daniel mentioned and Emily mentioned. Yes, we have a financial education opportunity as well as a business opportunity. Well, if it's a financial opportunity, what do you want the least, right? At least to educate yourself. How would you get it? You have various questions in various topics, like how do I even make use of my 401k after my work? All these simple questions are attended in detail, like given in detail by experts in that field. Our advisors are like really experts, and put together many years of experience all of them have, and you'll understand a lot, not just by this one session. You're going to understand. I highly recommend you to become a part of a membership and definitely learn this. That's for just for us to make sure you clear the background, the first level, and then you can learn this for sure. Come learn about the taxes from the IRS auditors, how to get out of the debt from the greatest CEOs, and Social Security. If you are ever going to start a business, how do I start the business? What are the taxes that I would be incurring? How can I avoid them or save some more for my business? Retirement strategies, what are they? Estate planning. I'm pretty sure young families and older families, all of us need estate planning. It's very needed nowadays. There are so many things I've learned. College funding. Either if you're going to college or you have kids who are going to college or your nephew, niece, everyone will benefit from this. So I did, right? I have two young kids, 8 and 10 now, but I started saving for them earlier. So come join in and learn a lot. Contact the person who invited you. I'm sure they have great things to share with you. Okay? Thank you. And thank you so much for being here, guys.
All right. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank